Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be unpacking this bad boy that I took for carry-on only for 10 days to Bali. So I'm pretty happy with everything that I took. I actually am going to use this as the blueprint for when I pack my bag for my long-term carry-on only Southeast Asia trip. I'm filming outside today, so hopefully we just hear beautiful bird noises and tree noises and nothing strange. First things first, the shoes that I took. So I only took one pair of shoes on this trip, and of course it was my Tevas. These are the XLT2 Hurricanes. I've taken them before on a trip where they were the only shoe that I took. I love it. If I was going for longer, I would also take some like trail runner sneaker kind of shoes, but for a trip like this, Tevas are all you need. They're the perfect shoe. I did a mountain hike with them. They are just comfy for everyday use. If your feet get wet, they dry really quickly. I have no complaints about my Tevas. Then, like every backpacker ever, I have a little Uniqlo bag that kind of changes out what is in it. I can kind of use it as a bit of a day pack whilst I'm there. And then I also always have a carabiner with me, and I attach my drink bottle on this way. So this is the Lifestraw, which I highly recommend. I actually had to buy another one because I somehow lost my last one, but this makes it safe to drink any water. So it's got a really, really good filter in it, and you can kind of just drink any kind of water, including stuff from like rivers and streams, and it makes it safe to drink. So everywhere I travel, I take this with me. I also love because it's collapsible. As you drink water, it gets lighter and lighter and smaller, so then you can like fold it up and pack it away. So I love my Lifestraw. In this bag, see what we've got. So I just had my AirPods, I had my film camera. I only took one roll of film for this trip. I just had my glasses that I need. I had this cute little purse that I got for my birthday, which had all of my cash, card, kept my receipts, standard purse behavior. I then also just got some cheap sunnies before I went traveling. These were like $9 from Kmart. I've got Ray-Bans and I love the look of Ray-Bans. They're too fragile for my liking. So just some cheap sunnies like this that are polarized. They do the trick perfectly. I also had my SeaBands, my like nausea travel bands, because I get car sick, sea sick, boat sick, plane sick, everything sick. So just having these on hand always helps whenever I'm feeling a bit nauseous. I also always travel with a fold up bag so that whenever I go shopping or anything like that, I can just not use a plastic bag or not need a paper bag, whatever. It folds up a lot nicer than what I just did. Shut up, little birdie. I also, of course, had my passport. I use this little cover, it keeps everything together. So I've got like my vaccination booklet in there. And I also have a little tile, like a credit card tile. So this is something I can track. So I just always keep it with my passport. And then if I was to ever lose my passport, I should be able to locate it by that. I also had just a travel bank. I want to get a new one because this one's quite heavy and I don't think it's that good. It's just like the home brand from Kmart, but it does do the trick. I also had a lip balm, just as you do. And this was the first trip where I took my loop earplugs. So these are little earplugs that you can wear. These ones are the sleep, I think they're called Dream, and they're designed for you to wear at night. So they just come in a little case, and they're just kind of your stock standard earplugs. I won't lie, I actually didn't like them that much. So I've worn them once at home before, and I really enjoyed them. I loved them. I thought they were great. But in a hostel, I found that they didn't actually block out that much noise, which was a bit disappointing. And also, I think I got like a little bit sick whilst I was away. So I was a bit congested, and then like the pressure in my ears felt like a lot. So I'll definitely keep traveling with them because they're better than nothing. But I kept talking to my friend whilst I was over there. She just had like foamy ones, and she was like, I couldn't hear a thing. And I was like, well, I could hear everything. So that was a bit, yeah, that was a bit disappointing. So up next we have the actual bag. So this is the Osprey Fairview 40. It fits requirements for carry-on only. Not quite when you pack it like this. I've really packed it really quite heavy. As long as it weighs under 7 kilos, I was all good for Jetstar. They didn't weigh it. They didn't look at it at any point, but obviously they could. Took a very similar bag to this to Vietnam, but I love this bag. This is the bag that's going to be traveling with me. There's so many things I love about it. There are these good like front pockets here that you can just put like shoes or stuff like that you either want quick access to or that you want to like keep out of your main bag. So at the back, it's obviously a backpack, but then you can also zip it up to keep it flat. It makes it a bit more like a suitcase, and it means that your bag straps won't get damaged when they're going through airports or buses or whatever. It's got the side handle and the top handle, so you can carry it, yeah, either way that's more comfortable. It also has this zip down the side where you can keep an iPad or a laptop. So that's where I kept my iPad so that it didn't get damaged at any point. So yes, I also took an iPad. This was my friend's iPad. Thank you, Jordan, for letting me borrow it. but it's got that really good space in there so that you can keep your laptop safe. And then there's lots of spots where you can clip on carabiners so that you can tie on bags and shoes and things like that, which is always good. And then there's lots of straps to tighten it to make it as small as possible. So you've got these straps across the front as well. So let's actually open it up and see what we've got. There is this little pocket at the top as well where you can just keep easy to access things. So I've got my retainer in there, a deck of cards, always a good thing to have in a hostel. I had some tape, my locks, and of course this opens like a suitcase as well. So it just has one big zip and you can get into everything, which I love. It makes it so much easier for seeing everything, packing, unpacking. I really would never want one of the stuff bags that you have to fill from the top. They obviously are good for what they're good for, but I much prefer the suitcase design. Okay, so let's see what we have. So first things first, I have my washing bag. So this is filled with washing, obviously, but when I'm traveling, this bag is like a little stuff sack. It folds up really small, folds up kind of into this like pocket at the bottom here, but it also can double as a day pack. So when I did the Mount Batur sunrise hike, this is what I took to carry my stuff in. It's really obviously not the comfiest bag because it is just these straps, but it does the trick for something like that. I also took David Attenborough's book. Now, this book I took because I thought I was going to spend heaps of time just sitting and reading. So I was like, well, I need a big book because I'm used to when I'm traveling not being able to buy books in English, but Bali actually had so many bookshops where you could buy books in English. So instead I ended up just lugging around this 1 kilo book that I didn't even finish, but I love it, it's good, but yeah, probably wouldn't take that next time. So then I had my plain outfit, which was just made up of long pants. I think I only wore these one other time whilst I was there because it was warm enough to not need them, but they're just always a good thing to take, so I'd have them with me. My plain outfit also was this t-shirt that I love, just a good oversized t-shirt. Wore this heaps, love this t-shirt, very happy. I then also had a jumper, and again, really didn't wear this other than when I was on the plane, but the plane was freezing, so you need it. You always need something thin and warm. Probably wouldn't take this just because it is that bit bulky, but it's kind of hard to find a jumper that fits, that's not too big, can be warm and kind of like a cool warm as well, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't. Obviously had all of my camera gear as well. Then I had a pair of shorts. Love these shorts. I wish they were like 1 inch longer, but I don't want to be wasteful, and these are the shorts that I've got. But denim shorts, great, love them, nothing bad to say about them. I kind of mildly lied when I said I had 1 pair of shoes because I also had a pair of thongs. I am never gonna travel without thongs. I just need them for when I'm in the shower. I wouldn't want to shower in my Tevas, just that would be getting them wet every day. So I do have these, which obviously I could wear out and about if I want to, but then they also double as like slippers if you're staying somewhere where they only want you to have slippers on when you're walking around the premises. Took my hat, just a bucket hat. I took 2 headscarves, so I wore this one, and then I also had this one for something a little bit different. Probably didn't need to, but it's fine. It literally weighs nothing. I also had 2 things of bed socks. So normally, like, I'm so funny about foot cleanliness. It's just my hang up. So normally every night I want to wear bed socks. I'm trying to work on it though. So I actually didn't end up wearing these every night. So I probably could have just done with 1 pair. I had my rain jacket as well. So I don't think I wore this. I may have worn it out like 1 day, but really when I was in Bali, like if it was gonna rain, you were either duck inside or it's so warm that it's fine to just kind of get wet and then you'll dry out after. I did actually wear it on the plane over because I was freezing on the plane over. But yeah, it's just one of those things that you definitely want to take in case, but I didn't actually really need. Now I had some undies. I reckon I had 7 pairs and I was quite happy with that. I did a load of washing whilst I was there, but I could have gotten away without doing it if I wanted to. It has been so cold. It obviously looks beautiful today, but it's been so cold at home that I was like, it's actually easier just to get all my stuff washed and packed nicely for coming home rather than washing it at home. But I could have just washed a couple extra pairs of undies and I probably would have been fine. I did take 2 bikinis and I probably only needed 1. I wanted the ability to wear both. It really doesn't bother me wearing the same thing day in, day out. Probably only needed 1 because I mainly just wore 1. For a longer trip, I would have a second pair anyways. I would just have a thinner pair than this. So I knew this going into this trip, but this kind of like crimped material takes so long to dry. It makes them a lot bulkier, obviously, to pack up. So I would definitely get a thinner pair next time. I took my towel as I always will, but again, this was actually something that I didn't need. So every hostel that I stayed at supplied a towel. The one that I stayed at that had a pool also supplied a pool towel, so I really didn't need it. I probably could have taken it out. There was a day where we went and like swimming in waterfalls, but it didn't really fit in my bag that I was taking. You'd want like a really small compact towel for that. I would take it so that you don't get stuck if you're in a hostel and they don't do towels, but most of them seem to. Took some liners just in case I needed them. I took one sports bra, which was good. You can obviously wear it as a top in certain places or just wearing it as a bra underneath things. I did also take 2 pairs of pajamas, and pajamas are the one thing that I really do think I could cut out of my like long-term travel bag, because pajamas are obviously, when they look like pajamas, you can only wear them as pajamas, whereas you could wear a t-shirt, for example, to bed, wear it as your pajama top, but then if you wanted, you could also wear it during the day. But there's just something really nice about having dedicated pajamas and putting pajamas on every night. So I obviously took the large t-shirt that I wore on the plane, but I also took 3 other tops and acquired a 4th whilst I was over there. I liked the different styles that I had so I could wear them for different things. Obviously very similar colors, so as long as I don't have pants that are that color, it's fine. I like wearing neutral colors like this. So I had one little like tank top that kind of just comes to under my boobs basically. I like this, maybe could go for one that's a little bit longer, just so that any places where you need your midriff covered that you could go into, I've got it covered. I've then got this t-shirt that I love. It is in need of a wash, but I love it because it's kind of a top that you can wear without a bra, which is really nice to not have to worry about taking a bra, wearing a bra, and it's a nice material that doesn't really get dirty, and I didn't feel overly warm in it either. I then also had this like little boob tube, so you can wear that as a nice top. You can kind of wear it as a bra underneath a top if you really needed to. And then I bought this top whilst I was over there. I will be traveling with this in the future. You can wear it lots of different ways, where you can like organize the straps differently so it just looks a bit different. I also took 1 pair of socks if I wanted to wear them under my Tevas. I'm pretty sure I did that when I was doing the Mount Batur hike, and then also had a bra. And my final item of clothing was these shorts. I love these shorts. They're really good because they're super thin and they are that little bit longer, so they don't ride up and I don't chafe when I am wearing them. The only problem is they are green, which is a problem I have with my entire wardrobe. Everything's green, so then it obviously means you're wearing like a green top and green pants, or you have outfits that can't go together. But I just love green, so people are going to catch me wearing all green. It's just going to happen. So that's everything that was in the main body compartment, and then everything left goes in here. I obviously had all of my cords, all of my chargers. I had my watch charger, my charger for my AirPods, which is kind of annoying because I've got old AirPods but new everything else. So my AirPods are the only thing that need that charger, which is really annoying, but I'm not going to buy new AirPods just because of that. And then I took 1 adapter and then 1 head that I can plug things into, and then I also had 1 of the new USB end heads as well. And I just had them in a cute little bag. It was just a nice way of sorting them. So I took all of my toiletries in a plastic bag. Lots of airports need you to have them in a plastic bag to take them through. You kind of either want to get a clear toiletries bag so that they can just see through it and you don't have to take them all out, but I did actually just take this, which I kind of liked because it means that you're not taking any extra weight. That kind of started to annoy me with my old toiletries bag, that I was like, this is taking up space and weight and it's not really adding any benefit. After going real hard the other way and literally just having this, it was a little bit annoying because you still want something that you can hang in a bathroom. So I just need to find a happy medium of something I can hang and something that is still see-through and light. But the toiletries I actually took, so I had some Bushmans so that I didn't get bitten by any bugs. Probably didn't need to take quite that much, but it wasn't full when I took it anyways. I definitely want to take my own insect repellent. I also then had these little pouches that I filled before I went. So one has my moisturizer in it, one has body wash, and that had sunscreen. So obviously took more than I needed of everything, and I really thought I underdid it. But obviously I'd want more of these things than necessary. Probably didn't need to take body wash. I just get quite sensitive skin, but everywhere that I stayed did have body wash available. But obviously, yeah, your moisturizer and your sunscreen. These packets are so much lighter than other things, and obviously you can refill them as well. So that's why I love these, because you're not carrying around the weight of like the actual kind of packaging itself. If you wanted to get some more, instead of having to buy like a whole bottle of moisturizer, if there's someone in the hostel who's got some moisturizer and you can just steal a couple pumps off them, cheaper, saves space. I then also took some stop itch cream because when I do get bitten, I do flare up quite a lot. Again, probably didn't need quite as much, but Oh well. And then I took a little face wash as well. So I could have put some of my face wash in one of these, but I already had this on hand, so I was like, may as well just take that. Then I got a deodorant, so you don't want to take aerosols because obviously you can't take them in carry-on, and roll-ons are better for the environment anyways. And then I also, normally at home I get one that's in glass, but I want it to in plastic so that it's lighter when I'm flying with it. And then I had the world's tiniest toothpaste and just a little roll-on perfume as well. I didn't take any makeup on this trip and I was fine with that. I don't tend to wear a lot of makeup anyways. And then I just had my toothbrush, which is in a little toothbrush holder. I also always print out important documents just in case. So I had copies of both of my passports because I have 2 passports. And then I also had like my travel insurance just printed out just in case you ever need it. There are some countries that might want to see it on arrival, so it's just a bit of a habit to have. I also took a couple pads just in case. I was kind of finishing my period when I got there, so better safe than sorry. This was the first trip where I've taken Hydrolyte or any form of like electrolyte tablets, and I did actually use a couple of them. I probably didn't need to. I mainly took them in case I got sick and was severely dehydrated from getting it out, but I just also struggled to drink enough water. So I was like, may as well have them. And on the days where I was like, you're really not drinking enough water, I just had one of these. I also took some tea. I love my tea, and I wasn't sure what I'd be able to buy in Bali of like the English breakfast I needed or wanted, but I did kind of not think about how close it is to Australia. So heaps of the stuff in the supermarket was Australian brands. So I definitely could have gotten suitable tea whilst I was there, but again, better safe than sorry. And then finally I took, this was my bag of kind of medical things. I literally didn't open this, but I would never travel without it because obviously if you didn't have it, then you would need it. But in here, I had a couple tampons, I had some GastroStop, I had some hay fever allergy tablets, I had some Aquatabs, which you don't need with the drink bottle that I've got, but you know, even if you just wanted to be like double sure, you can pop one of these tablets in some water and then it will make it drinkable. When I went to the travel doctor before I went, I got prescribed with, I don't even know what these are, ondansetron, which I've definitely heard of, and azithromycin. One of them is for if you get sick and you start spewing your guts out, and I can't remember what the other one's for, but you know, sure, I'll use them at some point. And I will Google them before I use them. Took some Band-Aids. I took some tablets to wash my retainer with. Oh, and I also took another antihistamine. Lots of antihistamines. Didn't need them this trip. But that is everything that I took with me in under 7 kilos. So absolutely everything wasn't quite under 7 kilos. I did also carry my iPad and my book with me. So together, those 2 things weighed 2 kilos. But it was also because I wanted to use them on the plane. But then it did get the bag down to around 5 or 6 kilos. The main real regret that I had for what I didn't take was just a chip clip that I normally travel with, normally lives in my handbag, and it's just so that you can close up food that you buy, because obviously you're going to have snacks at some point. So I didn't have anything that I could close snacks with, which it was fine. I just kind of folded the bag over, but that was one regret. I also didn't take a razor or my tweezers just because I've had my tweezers taken off me before in carry-on, and you always want to draw as little attention to yourself as possible when you are carrying on and like maybe ever so slightly over the weight limit, or your bag's like a centimeter too big. So I just didn't take any tweezers, which meant my monobrow was monobrowing when I got home, and I didn't have a razor to shave, but I was there for 10 days. Didn't really bother me. And I obviously could have bought one there if I wanted to, and then just kind of ditched it before I came home. But that is everything that I took with me for 10 days in Bali. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure you give a thumbs up, subscribe, and make sure you check out my vlog from when I was in Bali too.